Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Judy and this is Running So and So, and I've got a new toy. Look at this, I can zoom in on you. I can zoom out, and I'm hoping I might have sorted out focusing and lighting. My vlogging camera died. It did fall off, I haven't admitted this to everybody, but it did fall off the table a while ago, and that might have caused a problem. But this one has even got, it's just, I am totally blown away by technology. This one's even got those volume things that go up and down the screen like that. Anyway, welcome to my Friday sews, which I am going to be recording through the week. Now yesterday I did some finishing off of jobs that needed doing, and they've all been collected. And today I am about to cut out this beautiful fabric. Who can remember this beautiful fabric here? This is the Savannah Viscose by Lady McElroy, which I got it via Sean from Kittenish Behaviour, and Sean got a job load of this. Hold on a minute, let me just zoom you out a bit. Oh yes! Oh, look at that. There you go, hold this up better. And I can zoom in on the fabric now, and I think it'll take the focusing straight away. Oh my gosh, I am so impressed with this. This was I've been thinking about this for about 2 weeks. I've had it in my Amazon purchase box and thinking, shouldn't I buy this or not? So I can't tell you what it is I'm making with this, but I'm doing a pattern test and it needs a viscose. Now I did make it with, hold on a minute, I've already made it once for the first round of the pattern. See, there's definitely something was wrong with the camera because I've come back and there's been no lighting change. Who can remember this gorgeous So Hayley Jane fabric which came in the February box? I absolutely love it. It's the most soft fabric. Next, I don't even know why I'm leaning into the camera, I don't need to. It's the most soft fabric I have had in years, and the garment I've made in it is absolutely fantastic. But the designer told me that I'd done the first round of pattern testing, and I said, oh, I'd like to do the second too. And because I love the pattern so much, and believe me, when this pattern is released, I will release my photos of it. It is the most, my opinion, the most divine dress for the summer. You will all love it. So I'm going to make the next one in the Lady McElroy Viscose because I've got every confidence that the designer, if you're watching it, you know who you are, that the designer has, from the lady I've done this alteration for, and she has said that her husband's coming to collect it, but I really need to show you it. Look, this is how it is now. It's all finished and altered inside. But when you feel that you need a sewing challenge and you think, I can't make something else for myself, I need to do something, I need to sew something, but I can't honestly make myself something else. This is one of the reasons I do alterations, plus the fact doing alterations, folks, and charging for them does stock up fabric fund. So what I've done here is the little girl that was going to, young lady, young teenager that is to wear this has nothing on her. She's literally like this. A stick. She's 13, she's not developed, and we swapped the dresses around last year 2 years ago I got this dress to alter, and it's been sat because obviously 2020 everything had to be stopped. So what I have done is there you are, here it is. The remote control can go underneath the camera as well. So here you go, look. Here is the dress. It is literally, if you do it up it might be better, behind. I haven't had to do anything with the zip, but what I have had to do is to undo it at the waist to separate the lining from the main body, and then I've been able to go between the two and pull the dress in to fit Daisy using the seam lines that are there. And I am absolutely delighted with the effect of the dress, and it has a little red belt. So I thought I would show you that. That has actually taken quite a lot of sewing. I've also altered 2 other dresses for a lady in the village. I mean, seriously, I should have videoed it, but I was between cameras when it came because the old one really isn't working very well, and this one was in the box and I was like, how do I use it? So when I did one of the dresses for Jan, she got a sea salt dress. It was just a little straight jersey dress, and Jan in the village, who's actually very petite and very tiny, she needed it shortening by 8 centimetres, so I had a matching thread and I wound on to another reel, the thread that I thought we needed for it. I got it to this much left over. I was really very chuffed with myself. Right, I'm about to start making this pattern test dress, and I thought as part of Friday Sews I'd talk to you about some of the things that I do as I am starting a garment. So as all of you know, I'm absolutely obsessed with cleaning my sewing machine out, and I'm not even going to show you that. I have got makeup brushes. I use makeup brushes to clean my machine out. I shall just fiddle around over here. I've got a new box. Don't we all just love a box? Look at this. B&M bargains. I hope you're watching, Rowan. Should perhaps tag the Yorkshire Sew Girl in. She loves the B&M bargains. But here we are. This is my little bag that I have to have to hand. I don't know what is in that box. I mean, I have got so many boxes of sewing stuff around this house. And in this box, this little bag, this came with the sewing machine. It's got in this like tooth dentist's mirror, and it's to view the threading of the bobbin on this machine. This little device here opens up the front of my sewing machine. Tweezers to help get any thread out, packet of needles, and then my depth guide things, which I never use. I'll just lift the foot up. And a makeup brush. The next thing I always do is a test. So I'm going to turn you down. So this is a viscose, and I have got one of these, and I'm really sorry if I'm telling any of you how to suck eggs or anything like that, but I thought it'd be really good to show you what it is I do before I start sewing. I've got one of these things that you bring down at the back, and it helps to steady the fabric going through the feed teeth and the machine foot. I do have obviously the tension gauge is all built in, and I do have a foot pressure function, so I can change how much pressure is going through here. So I'm going to do the seam twice, once without this in and once with it on. Also, I always lengthen the stitch because I think it helps with how the fabric goes through the machine. Also, you've got to think that sometimes if you're putting your needle through, you're creating basically perforations in your fabrics to stitch it together. And if you actually have those wider apart, you get a much more even stitch. And it's going to be really hard, but I will try and put the first line of stitching into the camera, but the tension is so perfectly even. And it's exactly what you're looking for when you're trying to do your perfect stitch. So I'm going to put this down. I'm going to sew the first line of stitching. It's got the securing stitch on, but I suspect that it will gather very slightly. So I'm just going to take off the securing stitch at the end. I think I'm going to take it off. No, I haven't. I've taken it off at the beginning. And the reason I'm wanting to take it off is because I want to show you something. So this is the first one that I've done. This is the one without the steadying on. And if the seam is at all pulling, you can just take your fingers and pull like this. Pull your threads and it will flatten out your seam. And now I'm going to do one with the, I don't know if it's a differential feed, but it basically just helps with the feeding. It's how the machine takes the fabric through, and it should take it through more evenly, thus preventing the fabric to sort of gather up. And this is a fabric test, a sewing test to make certain that everything is good on your tensions. It's always good to do it, and especially when you've got a finer fabric like viscose, but your machine settings, your factory settings on your machine, if you've got automatic tension And anything like that set into your machine, you should not have to touch it. And here's the last one, which is absolutely perfect. Let me just say, here are the fabric samples, and you can see that they're all really, really clear. Another thing I wanted to show you how to do today was how to do a dart without using a tailor's tack. So this is a technique that I learned using the French patterns from Maison Fauve and checking out Emily's online, so I can't take total credit for it, but I think it's safe to say that it will be liked. I'm going to measure the dart to see exactly the exact width of the dart that is required for this pattern, and I think it is a 1.5 centimetre dart. Now, I'm just going to bring the camera back down so that you can see exactly what it is that I am doing. Right. So here I have got a pin, and the top of the pin here shows exactly where the tip of the dart is. Now I am going to open this out like so I can see the pin, and then I'm going to take a friction pen like this. Now the reason you use the friction pen is that it does actually come off when you iron, and this is the top of the dart. From the mark here, I'm going to draw a line just very lightly down to the bottom of the skirt, and then I am going to do my best to endeavour to split 1.5 scissors, and I'm using my sort of tailor's curve thing here. I'm just going to do the 1 with you because then I will go on and do this. I've actually got to do 4 because I've got a lining to do as well. So it's just over, and I don't tend to tell you. You need to go between 0.7 and 0.8. And then you can pinch it up and you've got your really simple dart ready to sew. And I'm not going to sew it yet because I will sew all the darts at the same time. But because you've actually marked your line in, you can ensure that you've got your dart in exactly the right place. So your stitching line is going to go down between the 2 pins. But I'm ready to go, so it's time for some sewing. I can't even put you on time lapse because I haven't worked that out yet. So I'll see you later. Hi everybody, now Friday afternoon. Friday evening, it's 7:30. And is Friday sews going to go up? No, it's not. I've actually posted something in the community tab saying it's likely to be Friday sews on Saturday or Friday sews on Sunday, depending on whether it uploads at home or whether it uploads at Hannah's. But I haven't done as much sewing on my pattern test dress as I'd have liked to have done, which has meant that I haven't got as far as the zip. So I will show you that next week. And if the zip bit I can cut out from earlier, then I will put something across the bottom. But I did have a question after my last vlog about the chalk pen that I use, and it is this one. This is by Clover, and you can refill it. I think this bit comes off here. I've got 2 or 3 in different colours lying around the house. I do like the Clover one because it does work quite easily. It's got a little wheel at the bottom. I don't even think, yes, you might be able to pick that up. Just a little wheel here. Can you hear it? There you are, little wheel, and it leaves a pink mark behind. But as you know, I like Clover, some people like Prym, and I think Prym do one as well. I'll try and link to this and to the one by Prym in my description box. It will be an Amazon link. I do not have an affiliation with Amazon. As I keep saying, everything on this channel is my opinion, what I prefer to use. But I know some of you like Prym, and I know that Prym do one. I also think, is it Hemline, the pink boxes with the blue writing? I think they do one as well. I'll see if I can find theirs as well. Now, this week, what have I been doing? Well, I've done a lot more walking and running, which has been one thing that I've really wanted to do. I've worked on doing the garments for repair that I had to get finished. They've all gone. I've got one pair of curtains to do. I have spent a bit of time. I have done one or two other things this week because it is the school holidays and the jobs that I needed to do. So I've actually spent a long time getting Maggie checked out. Maggie's been having spasms and it's been quite frightening. And I finally managed to get one recorded last weekend and I showed it to Jane, her massage lady. And Jane suggested that we went to the vet. So I had to see the vet about one thing for Maggie and then I had to go back the following day to get her checked out over these spasms. The vet was absolutely fantastic. It's too soon because it's not happening regularly at the moment to actually be 100% certain as to what it could be. But she feels it could be something neurological, which sadly won't get better. But the speed of decline is a variable, so we have to hope to goodness that it's a slow progress. She's a middle-aged dog. Brittany's tend to live for about 12 years and she is now 6. Both the dogs have had birthdays this week. If you've seen over on Instagram, I have posted pictures of them as puppies. And they've had lots of biscuits and treats and things. They've been totally spoiled. So, post-wise this week, I have had a couple of bits of post. The first one was looking for something else on Amazon, and this thing popped up, the new Esme Young biography. Now, it's actually an autobiography because she's written it herself. And I bought it, and then when I was driving around York, I think it was yesterday when I was driving from the vets to the racecourse, Esme was being interviewed about the book and about the new upcoming series of The Sewing Bee on BBC Radio 4's Woman's Hour. I do enjoy Woman's Hour because they do have quite a lot of interesting articles. I'm going to go off on a tangent here. I heard 2 in the past really good articles regarding your health. The first one was when I was expecting Hannah and they were interviewing a midwife and she said, well, when you go into labour, the best thing you can do is to have a great big meal. It was 30 years ago and I think it's more done now, but 30 years ago it wasn't. And the other one I heard, and that was literally just a few weeks before I had Hannah, and the next one was putting back a dislocation. Shortly after hearing that, I managed to dislocate my ankle. That was in 1998, so there you go. It's a very interesting programme. And the other thing I've started doing is I've started listening to the Tipsy Sewers podcast. I don't know if anybody else listens to the Tipsy Sewers podcast. I'll try and put a link. It's through Google Sounds that it's released. And I listen to it when I'm out walking the dogs or running. So people will be wondering what on earth I'm laughing at, but they're absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I totally recommend them. And the other piece of post I've had this week, excuse me, I need a drink. It is Friday night, so cheers everybody. I poured the glass of wine, ready for the Think Pink subscription box launch. And I thought it will either be celebration or commiseration. And I'm pleased to say it's a celebration. Because this time I didn't sew through the launch time, which is what I did the first time. And the second time I was at a school governor's meeting and I was trying to order the box. And then I needed to say something to rescue the head teacher, so I didn't get the box. I had my Solely Hits Slow Hayley Jane. So Hayley Jane box has arrived this week, and I know there's been lots and lots of unboxings already, and I thought, do you know, I don't know if I want to do an independent unboxing of this or whether to include it in Friday Sews, and I thought actually I'm going to include it in Friday Sews because I can bring the whole thing together. So the magazine. Now I think the best bit about the box for me is the magazine. Hayley goes to a lot of trouble to produce just this small A5 magazine, which is getting thicker. It's beautifully produced, beautifully photographed, it's in colour and it's gorgeous to handle. I love texts on a page, hence the reason I have Esme's book as a book and not as a Kindle download. Third time lucky, I'm now going to try and talk about my So Hayley Jane box, which came this week, and I decided that I would include it in my Friday Sews rather than doing a sort of unboxing on the day. Then she already sends out the fabric she's going to include in the boxes to 3 makers. And I don't know how she chooses them, whether she's got a rota, or if they know which box they're getting, and they have to make something with the fabric that is included in the box, and that is included in the magazine. So it's 3 boxes, 3 makes. So the mini box has just got, I think, 1 metre of fabric in it. So Esther has made a simple top, and then we've got Gemma, who's got has made the Nova jumpsuit out of the classic, of the luxury box, and Laura has made, I don't know who Laura is, but hello Laura, if you're watching me, has made the Burnside bibs out of the fabric from the classic box, and it's exactly the same colour as the fabric I've got. It's a beautiful viscose linen, and I shall come to that in a minute. It's just my thing. Then we have the most beautiful notebook cover, and I'm just going to show you a notebook I've got that needs a cover. I don't know if you can remember from my last vlog, I told you about Avorium in York that do notebooks with your name on it, with a little bit of gold embossing. This is gold embossing, it looks like silver but it's gold. Well, our lovely Tamlin, she's only gone and done a notebook cover with the fat quarters that are in it. It's fantastic. I'm going to come to more of this in a minute. Absolutely fantastic. I don't know if Tamlin does the photographs. If you're watching this, Tamlin, perhaps you could put a comment in the box below. But I'm really impressed with the quality of the photographs every time I see Tamlin's make. Really good photographs, very clear instructions, making it accessible to all. And when you've been sewing as long as me and you see all lovely new people coming up and learning to sew, that is just the most important thing. Somebody picks up this and they think, I can make that. I've only been sewing 2 minutes, but I can make it. And it gives you such a sense of achievement. And that's what you want. You want to succeed. You want to set yourself up for a win. Then we've got some books, obviously, and television. Bridgerton. I hope you've all watched Bridgerton series 2. And Hayley's got a pattern pick, and she's got a notification of a chat that's coming up, and then a subscriber profile, and I think it's Adele from Sew for Serenity. She is a subscriber, so it's a profile of a subscriber to her boxes. And then we have pattern picks from the fold line, and finally we have lots of viewers' makes. They're always quite nice watching. And then you've got your own note section. So if you want, you've got your notebook. Inside Tamlin's notebook cover from inside here. And you can put your magazine in to keep your notes at the same time. Even better. Win-win if you ask me. And then just some other sewing news that she puts in. So it keeps you up to date with what is happening within the world of sewing. Whether it, and I'm going to say world of sewing as a quilter and an embroiderer as well. It's the world of dressmaking that it keeps you a pinch of. So inside here I have got, I love this, safety pins. Look. My fat quarters. I'm convinced my fat quarters are exactly the same ones as Tamlin used. I hope they are. And 2 beautiful pencils which will match it. And Tamlin, if you're watching me, I am making a notebook cover. I love it. Absolutely love it to bits. 2 pencils that match beautifully. And there's some wax melts. Now, I've never used wax melts before. They're from the Bewley Candle Company. So I might check them out online. I might put the link below and have a little look and see what they've got to offer. But I'm loving the smell of these, and I do react to a lot of scent, but I've not reacted to that. My cotton, and here is the fabric. Now, I have not been able to get hold of viscose linen like this for ages, and I can remember sewing with this about 22 years ago. Beautiful. Absolutely love it, and I have no idea what to make with it, but I think it might be a jumpsuit of some description. So that's that. Now, what else have I been doing? Now, the other things I want to talk to you about, and I'm just going to insert a little picture just here. So yesterday afternoon I went out for afternoon tea with my friend Melanie. Melanie's lost her mum recently, and I had some, so I'm going to put in here a little picture of where I went yesterday afternoon. I went to Betty's for afternoon tea. I'd been given a voucher for my birthday, and my children said that they were not prepared to come for afternoon tea with me because they said it wasn't fair. I should go with a friend, and Melanie's down the road and she's just lost her mum, so I thought it was right that I took Melanie. She's just turned 60 as well, so we celebrated our 60th our 60th birthdays with this beautiful voucher that came from my mother and father-in-law and my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, which was absolutely fantastic. So we were able to, it covered the cost of our afternoon tea because it was £1 for each year of my life with the vouchers, which was really, really lovely. And you can see we upgraded very slightly to have the champagne afternoon tea. So we had pink champagne and Melanie had Earl Grey tea and I just had house blend tea because I'm not a tea aficionado. I'm sorry, I'm very simple like that. My husband loved different coffees and different teas, but I'm afraid I'm a bit of a plain Jane when it comes to things like that. So we had a beautiful tea, and it came, as you can see, on those lovely cake stands. And Betty's is just such an iconic place to go. There are Betty's in York, Harrogate, Northallerton and Ilkley. And if you do come up to North Yorkshire and you want to go somewhere special, you can go in and have a coffee and a cake, and it'll cost you about £6 a head. It's not much more than Starbucks, quite frankly, and it is absolutely such an experience. So if you're coming up and you're just going in for a coffee in the morning, can I please recommend coffee and cinnamon toast or cinnamon muffin? Absolutely perfect, just perfect. And the other thing I've done is to get ready for Easter, and I am going to just put a little picture in here of me setting up my Easter decorations in the living room this afternoon, which was absolutely great fun. I've got 2 little Easter trees that I got a few years ago when we had John Lewis in York, and a collection of little Easter decorations that I've picked up over the years. I've bought nothing new this year. Oh, I have actually, that's a lie. There's a little wreath, we might have got onto the little wreath by now, that I picked up in Tesco's for £10. And I thought, oh, I know what I can do with that. I can put some of my spare eggs on that to build it out a little bit, because I've got these little tiny eggs that I got from B&M Bargains. And on the theme of Easter, I made hot cross buns. I think I did enough to feed the 5,000 in hot cross buns. But that has been my week. So it's not just been a week of sewing, it's been a week of going out and seeing people. I've seen Melanie quite a bit this week because she's needed quite a bit of support. We've walked and we've run, which has been really lovely. I've been giving my time at park run because I'm still not totally fit enough from COVID to run a park run. So I've been going and giving my time, and Rachel's been coaching me in non-dog running so that when I'm fit enough I can go back to park run and I can run properly. So on that note, I am going to say thank you ever so much for watching. I do hope you like the improved lighting and the improved focusing. I can't believe how much more in focus I actually am. The bits of the vlog that I've already uploaded at this point onto my computer have just blown me away because I wasn't expecting this sort of quality. So I'm really sorry that I persevered with the old camera for as long as I did. But it was when I realised I couldn't time lapse, I thought, oops, there's a problem with the camera. And now I've got the new one up and running, I can realise that absolutely is. So I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I'll see you all very soon. And I shall point my remote control at the camera and say